What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. This is McMahon's Garage, where we try to build some cool shit. Today, we're gonna go over the F250. I finally installed the suspension, right? Not all of it. I still have leaf springs we gotta do. That's just because I'm too lazy to do it. Well, not really so much that, but I wanted to get like a view of what it'll look like without leaf springs, because some of you may not do leaf springs. You know, you can do that option where you don't have any leaf springs, but it will affect ride quality, one, and the looks of your truck, because you will have a little bit more lift in the front than you do in the rear. But, you know, some people like that style. It's not bad, you know, it's half an inch higher in the front, but not really what I wanted, and I kind of wanted a little bit better ride quality in the back, but I understand everyone's budget isn't the same. So I feel you on that one. They're not full progressive leaf springs. It's just an add-a-pack, so it gets rid of the overload and the helper, and you retain the main springs. So let's go look at this thing. Hey, before we go look at this thing, this will be a good time for you to hit that subscribe button and the like button as well, because this shit ain't cheap, and I'm trying to show you some cool shit. So please do so, and let's look at this truck. All right, it just rained, so of course we had to do some pit bike action, making some awesome ruts over here. But what the track bar essentially is going to do is center the axle, so it's going to bring it over to the driver's side, I believe, just a little bit. So the track bar, because it'll be lengthened, you'll be able to pull the track bar, or not track bar, the axle back over to the left-hand side just a little bit. And you know, it's not enough for you to really notice. It's included in the kit, so you might as well put it on. But here's what the truck looks like with the leveling kit. So it is, I believe, 44.5 inches in the front from ground to top of fender well, and 44 inches from ground to top of fender well in the back, which should be made up with the whatchamacallit, add-a-packs in the rear. But for the front, and I did make videos for installation for you guys that I'm putting together, but anyway, you got the coil, Fox 2.0s, and then you get new brake lines, because as you get more travel, you're gonna have to get a longer brake line, just because the stock brake line, like where this one loops around like so, the stock one pretty much comes up right here, and if you were to droop this thing out, it would just bend it right here. So you get like however many more inches you get. But anyway, it's a significantly longer brake line. You do want to make sure that you're clearing the shock and you're clearing your tire when it turns. So just some things to consider. Like I said, I do have a video for the brake lines that I'm putting together that'll be by itself, and then a video for the spring, the shock, and then the rear shock as well. But this is what it looks like right now. It is bowing a little bit to the front, just because I haven't put the caster shims in yet. But from the research that I have done, you will have a little bit of bowing in the spring. It was the same thing on the Ram when I did the Thurin suspension. Not something I'm really worried about, as long as it's indexed properly, and the rubber boot up here indexed at the bottom of the spring as well. Not really a big deal, just something that maybe you should keep an eye on. I'm not too concerned with it. But the truck is sitting ever so slightly. I mean, the driveway is slanted back, but you know, it looks leveled. It looks like it skipped leg day because it doesn't have 37s on, but it will here pretty soon. My wheels should be here. Maybe they'll ship out this week. That's what KMC said, and then we'll have a truck that doesn't look like this. But anyways, it looks pretty damn good. You know, it looks way higher in the front right now, just because it does have that most of the weight is on the back, just because it's like a 1% or 2% grade on the driveway. But it looks pretty good. You know, we do, like I said, still have the stock leaf springs in the back, so we will be getting rid of the overload in the back and the helper spring as well. So this being your helper spring, and this fat boy right here being your overload. So we will retain these three right here, and we will be putting the add-a-pack underneath, and it should give us that extra bit of lift that we need in the back. So we'll see how that goes. But I wanted to leave it like this so I could drive it like this and then give you an honest opinion on whether or not you need leaf springs. I think it rides pretty damn good the way it is now, with all the choppy stuff in the road, like joints and stuff and like cracked pavement. You're not really going to get that much improvement out of a suspension setup that's primarily going to be air in your tires, which is where a 37 is nice, because you know the stock tire is like a 35. So with a 37 you get an extra inch of suspension more or less from the tire on the bottom. I know it's 2 inches bigger, but you got to figure, you know, radius and diameter of the tire. You know, it's not 2 inches on the bottom, it's 2 inches in total, but you get what I'm saying. So you get that extra inch, and the tires aren't inflated to 65 psi, right? Because it's going to be, or at least in my case, it'll be an 18-inch wheel on a 37 by 12.5 tire, and this is a 20-inch. So we will get significantly more sidewall, which adds to significantly better ride quality. But you know, since it is a solid axle, it's not going to suck in the tires like you would get on the Bronco. When we lifted this, it sucked in the tires because we didn't drop the differential. Whereas with this one, since it is a solid axle and it has radius arms, it's just going to drop the axle, right? You get what I'm saying? Instead of dropping it and sucking it in, it's just going to drop straight down. So the only thing that you are going to have is the track bar, which will kind of pull it back over to the passenger side. There's a better look at the front. You do get a lot more ground clearance. Mind you, I trimmed my valence, which I did do a video on if you want to see how to do that. It's not a trim, I mean, it looks like a trimmer valence, but I didn't buy it. I just cut the factory one. So I just did it with a Dremel. Pretty easy stuff. Did a video on it if you want to look at it. But besides that, here's what you're looking at if you want a level chuck. It is something that they said is 3.5 inches on the newer trucks. For whatever reason, I guess in 2020, they came out with a trimmer, which would be the stock height of the old F250 style, right? So you get 3.5 inches in the front. If you have a 2022 truck, I messed up and I'm sorry. I didn't take a measurement before we lifted it, but the front is 44.5 inches from ground to topper fender well, and I'm not talking this piece right here, I'm talking this piece right here, right? Because it's kind of beveled in. So I'm measuring to here, 44.5 inches. So there you have it, guys. That's a leveled 2022 F250. It's not bad. Like I said, it's got a little bit of front rake just because it is on a hill, and it is in fact a 1/2 inch higher in the front on level ground. But you know, I'll let you know more on how it rides. I think there's a significant ride improvement on like big bumps, like at speed 65 mile an hour on the freeway, going over bridges, any kind of joint in the road, significantly difference. Big dips in the road, significant difference. As far as like small choppy shit, it's the same. But like I said, that's gonna come more from tire pressure and how much sidewall you have. If you're one of those guys that wants to run a 22-inch wheel and then a 37-inch tire, you're not gonna get nearly as good ride quality as somebody who's gonna run a 17 or an 18. I'm just saying, you know. But if you like that look, more power to you. Not my style. But there you go, guys. If you haven't already, like the video, leave a comment, I'll get back to you, and subscribe to the channel because we got more stuff coming. And I do have the install video that I'm putting together for everything, so stay tuned for those. I don't know if I'm gonna wait a week to, you know, post that, or if I'll just post it tomorrow. But anyway, let me get you a shot from the rear here. There you go. I wish it was sunnier so you could see the paint, but looks pretty good. So let me know if you have any questions in the comment. I'd be more than happy to answer them. And besides that, thanks for coming back to the channel, guys. I might stick to just one video a week. I don't know, kind of running out of ideas. I hate to say that, but it's hard to purchase shit all the time. But thank you for watching. Appreciate your time. Catch you next time.